Good to see everybody on. Good to see some faces from the Fitz group. He texted me last minute, said, "Hey, can we send our folks to your team call?" I said, "Absolutely, 100% do that." Um, we'll give it a few more minutes here. We typically go for about 30 minutes. Guys that don't know me, this is Mike Alleman. The lovely lady that was talking just a minute ago is Michelle Alleman, and we have been with the Fitz group for a very long time, almost since inception, but not quite. But we feel that way. 13, 14 years. I don't know. It gets bigger every time we get on a conference call. But we just want to say welcome to the call. We do our call every Monday night, 7:30 o'clock in the evening. We rotate people around, do some conversation, do some talking, fired up about it. As some people are coming on, just want to let people know tomorrow in H-Town in Houston, we have Gina Hawks will be at our office for training. From 2 to 5, and then we're going to do a little break and then come back and do a little hotspot meeting. So we have Gina Hawks there. And then next week, Fall Fest, baby. Fitz Group Fall Fest. If you've not signed up, get signed up. You've got the links on the 411 channel and all that fun stuff. So we're really excited about these next 2 weeks. It's jam-packed training. We know that's going to be focused on the right things. We know we're going to be focusing on some growth. So I'm excited about that, and I'm really excited about our person going to be talking tonight. I've known her for over 35 years, 37, I think, almost 40 years, Michelle. Can you believe that? That is crazy. Almost 40 years. Not quite, though. We're still young. We met in the hospital in the nursery place. Nah, I'm just kidding. We met in college. And I was trying to go like we're only like 40 something, but people know us know we're more than that. But yeah, anyway, tonight we got a great presentation tonight with Michelle. We try and do some training, education. And Michelle, whenever you are ready, you let me know and just tell me to start the PowerPoint whenever you're ready to start that, and I will do so.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you, Mike. Welcome to our call. Welcome everybody who's a guest, all the Fitz group. I'm excited to share with you guys some, hopefully, one thing that you might take from the call today and implement it into your business to help you. So we're grateful to have you on our call, and we are super excited that you took the time out of your day to take a few minutes to learn. So I'm going to get started. Hopefully my voice is a little bit better on the iPad. I was having a little bit of trouble on my computer.
Yep, no, sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. You keep rocking.
Okay, good deal. And so what I'm going to talk about today is 8 steps to a solid sale. So whether, and we're primarily talking about in the home selling our products, but this could go for recruiting as well. So let's just jump right in. I know I have 26 minutes left. So the first step to a successful sale is to have all the right tools. And some of the tools that you're going to need, if you're a brand new agent, is your ATM. And is it complete? Do you have your manager's approval? Has your manager looked at the page about you to make sure? Is it updated? Is it in your bag? Is it in the folders? I always keep an extra copy on my iPad, but I never use it, only unless for some reason I don't have my book. I always have a backup. What about the carriers? Carriers are a very important tool. They're pretty much, with your inventory, right? Are you contracted and appointed with all of the carriers that you need to be? And you don't have to be contracted with all of them. Again, double check with your manager, make sure that you're contracted with the right carriers. Make sure you've done your AML training. Some of the states require fraternal license. What is a fraternal license? You may not even need to know, but for example, Foresters is a fraternal company. So in certain states like Connecticut and New Mexico, you must have that fraternal license. It doesn't require anything but maybe like $10. So it's a fee, it's a form you fill out. What about your mobile applications, your quoting tools, your mobile quoting tools? Do you have that downloaded on your computer or your iPad or your phone so you can easily access this? And have you practiced quoting by yourself? Please don't go in the home without having done practice quoting so that you'll know how to do it. Okay. And you'll know how to get to the carriers that are most important. And how about the product pocket guides? If you look at the bottom of the mobile quoting tools page, there are product pocket guides and other guides there to help you assess products, which products may be best. And as a brand new agent, we're going to teach you how to use those guides, but we want you to come to us first. And you can still use the guides, but we still want you to come to us because there's a lot of information that may not be in that guide that, just experienced agents are going to really be able to help you through that. Okay. The applications, do you have them with you? Do you have applications or brochures? Or do you have them all downloaded on either an iPad or a phone, a computer? How do you know how to access your e-applications? One of my requirements is to make sure that you've done all the way through at least one e-app before you start going on appointments, because you don't want to really be fumbling too much on that first appointment. So just want you to have a little practice doing that. We know you're not going to be perfect. Customer knows you're not going to be perfect. The point is, you know a lot more than they do, so you're going to be able to help them. Just know how to access it, and that's the key. Step 2, schedule and attitude. So we always say around here that your attitude determines your altitude in life. And I totally believe that. And how do we access a better attitude? Well, I know that a lot of our agents feel that access to our trainings help them tremendously with their attitude. The sales calls, being part of a mentoring call with your manager, getting them on the phone. One of the things that I always love is when my agents call me, because they're doing activity that is creating questions. A lot of times, if you're not doing a lot of activity, then you really just don't have very many questions. The more activity you're doing, you'll create more questions. So that's always a good thing. So we don't ever mind when you call us. Okay. Dial sessions. Are you jumping on the dial sessions? We always say, my agents always say that either the meeting needs you or you need the meeting. So sometimes we're bringing people up, and sometimes, we're lifting them up, and sometimes they're lifting us up, because we never know who's going to have a good week or a bad week coming into that meeting. But we know with the team, you've got a team of people to do it, to help you. There are so many team sports. I don't know if you watched the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, but they did a fabulous job. But it's a team sport, right? So ours is still a team sport, although we do a lot of things ourselves. It is still a team sport. Just being there for your fellow team members. Everybody really needs someone to perform with or perform for. And what do I mean by that? If you're a leader, if you're an up-and-coming leader, we want you dialing on the dial sessions. We want you showing your team members how to do it. It makes you better. And if you're brand new, you need somebody to perform with. You need to know that someone's there with you on the front lines, okay? So that's why we do this. Do you have a working schedule? Are you mentoring with your manager every week about your schedule, or your team leader to work on it, to make it better? We're all a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. I'm talking to myself. So it's just always expanding the mind. Are you being true to your schedule? And is your schedule helping you become the person you want to be? Our goals are one thing, but our goals are there to help us become the person that we want to be. Because isn't that what's going to motivate us at the end of the day? Not always the goal, but it's moreover, am I moving toward the person that I want to be? So step 2, schedule and attitude. Step 3, I forgot to put that. Step 3, leads. Now, when I talk about leads, I talk about, do you have a steady inventory of leads? This might be your family, your friends, your referrals, or we have leads. We have people to help you call. We have people that have requested coverage. I call it, is it a faucet that you turn on and off, or is it a faucet that you leave on every single week, that you have a steady flow? I kind of talk to people like this about leads. It's like a convenience store, okay, with no groceries. If you don't have leads, you don't need groceries to sell. Leads are like your inventory, because you're calling through them, you're making sales. The NAA lead department helps us in this way, that you can set an appointment with the lead department. You can visit the lpt.simplybook.me website, and you can set up an appointment, 30-minute call, 15-minute call, to get education on leads, to set up your first lead order, to set up a continuing lead order. We call that a GMR, to where you've got a steady, continuous flow of leads. And being in the business for 14 and a half years, I had a steady, continuous flow of leads up until like last year. I just loved getting the leads. And again, now I have a steady flow of leads because I have so many customers that they give me more business and give me more business. And that's where you want to be one day, but I did leads for 13 years. Okay. I loved it. People waiting for me to call them to get help. Work as a team with your manager, so he or she can assist you in setting up that, work in as a team with the lead team and your manager to help you get set up with leads, with a continuous lead flow, with a continuous setup of inventory so you can sell every week. Steady leads equals steady work equals steady cash flow. And used to, in the older days, I would set up my geographic mailing request, GMR, larger than I needed, just so that they would mail more and get me more leads. I knew they would never max out what I was asking for. And if they did, I was committed to paying for it, and I was going to pay for it. But, I knew they couldn't max it out because they had other agents in the area. So that's how I did it. That's a pro tip. So use your budget, your schedule, and your leads together to build your steady cash flow business. Okay. Leads can also include referrals, your emergency response system. When I talked a little bit earlier, about your ATM and those tools, part of the tools is going to be the emergency response form. And another tool is the financial picture page. And so I use those paper tools in the home and still fill out things on paper that way. So you can fill them out on your iPad if you want to, however you're most comfortable. I would hand it over to the customer, and that is something that it gives them something to do while I'm doing the application. So that was it's a very good thing, because then otherwise they're just asking you a million questions. They're thinking about, oh, is this the right decision? But no, you give them a job. They're looking up their 10 people in their family, and they're having to write their name, address, and phone number. Now they're not thinking about, is this the right decision, and second guessing while you're going through the application. Okay. Back to my PowerPoint here. Let's see here. Okay, so that's it. I mean, you're asking in each home for referrals. Is your method effective? Talk to your manager about these things, and we try to give you tips every week on how do you ask for referrals. I mean, when you build rapport in the home and you've made a friend, it's just easy to get referrals because they trust you. So it's just all about caring for the customer at the end of the day. Moving right along, Mike. Okay, what step are we on? I am so sorry. 4. I think it's step 4. I messed up here on my PowerPoint. I'll have to fix it later. It's okay. So dials. So do you know how many, I love this part of the business, because do you know how many dials you need to do each week to hit your numbers? What is your number? What do you need to make each week? What is your goal? Do you have a goal? Do you know we have a spreadsheet that can show you how much money you make per dial? Like, a lot of people try to think about how much money they make per hour. Like, maybe a server makes $2 an hour and plus tips, right? So let me just show you this example. For example, let's say you submitted 8,000 a week. My average is 8 to 15,000 a week, right? Not this week. This week I was out of commission all week. But 8,000 a week submit. Let's say you're on a 55 contract. You're making about half of that. 4,000 got issued, or 8,000 got issued. 4,000 went in your bank account. Okay. So how do we figure out how much did you make per dial? Let's say you made 300 dials that week. That would equal $13.33 per dial. And I know Marty Doge, he would always, when we were doing dial sessions back in the day, and we were always like, well, I'm making $25 a dial this week, baby. I mean, we would all be, blowing each other up about it. We would have a lot of fun. Point is, we would have fun. And whether it's how many times would you pick up the phone? I mean, we're talking about picking up the phone for a no answer, like tick mark, no answer, and then hang it up and then dial it the same number again, no answer, and just made another $13. I don't know about you, but that fires me up. I mean, I was like, heck yeah. I'd be fun. I love it. So do you have a scheduled dial time each week that you're committed to? And how about your backup schedule in case you don't hit your numbers? I always had a backup schedule. The agents of mine that have a backup schedule are way more consistent. I know Jonathan has a backup schedule. He's always trying to work in 4 to 5 more appointments that week. A backup schedule, what I used to do is I would just grab my leads if Mike and I were going out to eat, or we were going to see a baseball game with one of my children, or kids' activities. What we would do, he was always the driver. I was always the passenger. I always had my leads and my earpiece, and I was making dials on the road, whether it was on the way to the restaurant, on the way to a kid's game. And if we were watching a baseball game, I might sit in my car, and when my son was out there up to bat, I would run out there and watch him. And that's how it would go. but that's my backup to, so I could get my appointments. I had to get my appointments in. And sometimes we used to say 300 dials or 20 appointments, whichever came first. So, and build in your extra time. How can you squeeze in 5 to 6 more appointments per week by making a few more dials? So think about that. Next slide, Mike. There we go. Number 5 step, appointments. Okay, so my goal is, I like to just cram in as many appointments as I can in one day. I'm just way more efficient. I'm way more effective. I'm way better in the home because I'm just like on a roll. Like I'm not, I don't worry about the next appointment. I don't worry about the previous appointment. I only worry about the appointment I'm in. No matter if that appointment might take me 3 hours, I don't care if I miss 4 more appointments. I'm going to worry about that one because that's the one I'm in. I never go out for less than 3 appointments in the field. You will get no-showed. You want to be efficient and effective with your time. If you're on the road, it takes time. You have time, travel time. So book every hour and a half, depending on how far apart they are. And it is a numbers game, especially if you're working with leads. Put the numbers in your favor. You might get, the first person might be there, the second person might be there, and then the third and fourth might be no-shows, but then you're right on time for your number 5 appointment. Or maybe you're 30 minutes early. No one's going to notice. Don't worry too much about that. You know how doctors work? So I was asking my daughter, her father-in-law, who manages an optometrist, like 50 offices. And I asked him, we had lunch the other day, and I said, how do they schedule? How many appointments do each doctor schedule in a day? Do y'all have any idea how many appointments they see in a day? 50 to 60 in one day, like every 10 minutes. I was like, that's what you have to think yourself of. You are a doctor, okay? You are an optometrist, and and so you got to think about it that way. Yeah, it was crazy. So, but they do have other people in the office to see them, like the techs and things like that. But I was blown away when he told me that. Then I was thinking. Then I said, how much do they bill out? And I figured out how much they're making per day. Right? That you're a business owner. You have to think like that, right? So you have to think about that. Your business that same way. Okay, because you think about if you're working a job from 8 to 5, $13 an hour, what are you making in a day? And how could you change that up and work this business and make, just blow it out of the water? So anyway, just think if you can do 10 in one day, just think if you ran 2 to 4 days per week, what that could yield you in premium, 10, 20,000 in 1 week. Okay, you just have to put the leads in front of yourself and start going to see people. Where else in the world can you go out and do this? I used to tell people, you can drop me off in any city that has a population of more than 20,000, and I could go run leads, and I can make money anywhere. You could just drop me off anywhere, and I could go make a living. I don't know. It's a pretty good feeling. I just want to tell you. And you can feel that same way because that's what our business really does offer people. Okay, I'm on to my next slide, Mike. Okay, so number 6 is the transmittal. So the transmittal is a key component of success for your business. This might be number 7. I'm not sure. You can let me know later. I'll fix the PowerPoint. This is your weekly accountability to not only to yourself, but to your manager, to your mentor. It's also your audit trail. It's how our office helps you get paid. Dude, we want to help you get paid because we get paid when you get paid. So do you think we want to track? We are business owners. Do you think we want to track your business? Heck yeah, we want to track your business. We run it like a business. So we track all our agency numbers. And I would just want to say it like this, and I mean it. How can you inspect what you don't manage? You got to use, even if you're using a piece of paper in the field, you put it on a list on your iPad or your computer as you write applications. Before I go to the next home, I'm writing down what I did, because sometimes if I'm running 10 appointments in one day, look, I don't remember everything I did. I have to write stuff down. I mean, just like doctors, they write all their notes down. You take copious notes and you get them in your computer to where you can keep them, because it's in those notes that you can be able to follow up with people, and you'll be professional, and then they'll know you know what you're talking about. Like, you actually keep track of what's going on in their life and in their insurance life, and you know what the deal is. So that means everything to them. Okay, so back to the transmittal. You can use a piece of paper, but ultimately we have an Excel spreadsheet. And next week on the training, we're probably going to go through that more in detail. But if you don't want to wait for that, just go to your manager. And I know we have trainings on how to use the transmittal, and we can get that out to you as well. But keep track of your apps. Just turn in the ones that are completely submitted. Okay? Like if you don't have the banking, but if you have the signature but not the banking, well, you can't submit it, so you don't submit it. If you do have the banking but you don't have all the signatures, don't call it submitted, because it's not submitted. Okay, so you want to keep track of what's not submitted on your own, because that's business in the pipeline for you, and you do need to keep track of it. You need to keep calling people and get all that. Okay, and there's a lot of money in that part of the business. So be organized. When you're organized, you can keep track of all that. Sometimes you might be waiting on something. That's if you're running a lot of business, keep track of that business. Okay, that's what I mean when I say I always have stuff in the pipeline. I'm still waiting on things or waiting on something. Even if you have a 0 week, guys, we don't care. We know that what the point is that we know you're working, and we know the numbers owe you, or you owe the numbers. So ultimately it's all going to catch up, and it's going to make up for itself. And the more practice you do, the better you're going to get. So the money is in the basics, guys. This is a critical piece of the basics. And just mastering the mundane making you look at your numbers will make you better, because you'll see what you didn't do. You don't need to have your manager tell you what you didn't do, because you know in your heart of hearts what you didn't do, right? And a lot of times that's the hardest part. So next slide. Pending. Okay, so pending is number 7. We are on track here. How do we check our pending? We call the carrier websites. Usually if you get emails, okay, well, you can always call the carrier websites. Where do you get the phone numbers? They're on the ARC website. You can speak to new business with all the carriers. When I speak to customer service, new business, I always get names of the people that I speak with. I always write the date and I always take notes on what they told me. Stay organized with that, because that will pay you lots of money to be organized. All phone numbers in the ARC. I usually work pending emails as soon as possible, but if I'm in the field and it's during like money making time, I'll try to do pending, from 6:30 to 8:30 or 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning, and then from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the evening, and get all my pending done. When before I was big enough to have someone to help me with pending, and I did everything, that's when I would do it. Okay. So that handles the pending, and let's go to delivery and follow-up, number 8. Now, I cannot say how important this is to, above all else, your execution of delivery and follow-up is massive. There is no formula for caring for your customer. Just treat them like family. Take the time to listen. take the time to be a friend. I just can't tell you how much you can't imagine how far this will take you in life and in your business. Okay. Whether it's your agents, or your customers, because our agents are our customers too, right? Because we try to care for you as an agent so that you can make money in this business and you can provide a lifestyle for your family that we've been able to provide or better. Okay. Text or call your customer when the policy gets issued. Ask them to call you back. Let them know that their policy was issued. Remind them the date that it's going to draft, if there is a specified date, and how much it is. Like, that is so important. People really appreciate it. Ask them to call you back when they get their policy in so you can install it. Now, what do you mean install it, Michelle? Well, it's really nothing. It's just so I can talk to them again. It's really just so they can call me and I can say, okay, I'm so happy you got your policy in. Do you have any questions? Is there anything I can explain about it? And people love it. And usually they don't. But if they do, I'm there to answer their questions. And oh, by the way, see, because every time a customer calls in, that's another selling opportunity for you. An opportunity to build more trust, an opportunity to recruit, an opportunity to talk to them about their retirement, talk to them about their Medicare, talk to them about cancer products, talk to them about referrals, talk to them about their grandchildren, because we have all these products that will help in all these areas. So, and as you become better, and as you come into our office and watch us do these things, you're going to learn them one by one. You're not going to learn all of this today. Don't even worry about learning all of it, but just take a few of these things and try and incorporate 1 or 2 things a week into your business and get a little bit better. And you know what? We've taught all these things for so many years, and I'm still working on getting better on a lot of them. Okay. So just know, Joanne knows how I was in the beginning. She was here when I was just itty bitty, right? So just go the extra mile for your customers and your agents, just to be that servant leader to each person. And do that just in life to everyone. You're just going to be happier. And the people around you are going to be happier. So that concludes my presentation today. I hope that it was helpful. And I enjoyed giving it to you guys, and give us some feedback on it and let me know if it helps you. So back to you, Mike.
That was awesome, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank
100%.
you, Mark. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
Appreciate
you.
Good stuff.
Any
Hey,
questions on it? Feel free
Can I get that PowerPoint?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to get the PowerPoint as soon as we get some numbers on it, so you know what steps you're in.
Yeah, we'll fix it up and we'll get you that PowerPoint.
Yep, we'll post it up. And then don't forget, sales meeting in the morning. We got to do it. 10 o'clock Central.
Thank y'all. Go out and make it a great week. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Great having you guys on the call tonight. Hopefully we served you well. See y'all on the call tomorrow.
So much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.